Hey Zen friends, welcome to this Scorpio full moon video where we're going to be talking about the energy of the Scorpio full moon, and also we'll have a tarot and oracle card reading to see what this energy brings for us all. So happy Mother's Day to everybody that celebrates that. All you mothers and those who identify as mothers. I know some people are both mother and father, and or fur babies and feather babies and fin babies, whatever it may be. Happy Mother's Day, that is tomorrow, at least after the release of this video. The Scorpio full moon is coming up on May 12th. It's called the flower moon, and it is a time for intense emotional exploration, transformation, and releasing what no longer serves us, especially with an emphasis on deep healing and spiritual growth. So we'll dive in more detail here for the Scorpio full moon, and then also we'll jump into the reading after that. A full moon is a great time for releasing ceremonies. In the 8 hours before a full moon, it's one of the most powerful times. It's like, I always remember it, it's for a full moon, it's like putting things out, like putting the garbage out on the curb to be taken away. So, of course, you prepare before the full moon to do all that. So all the things that you're ready to release, and you can put out there 8 hours before doing any kind of release ceremonies, and that makes room for the new. And when we make the things that we want to release be related to the energy of the sign that the full moon is in, it's even more powerful. So let's talk about the full moon in this water sign, Scorpio. Like we said, it is a time for that intense emotional exploration, emotional or just life transformation. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth. It's also about releasing what no longer serves us, especially with that emphasis on deep healing, so getting into that deep subconscious shadow world, and our spiritual growth as well. So let's look a little closer at that energy of the full moon in Scorpio. It is intense emotion and transformation. So Scorpio is known for its intensity and its transformative nature. And that watery energy, it amplifies emotions during this full moon more than usual from other non-water moons, creating a powerful time for deep healing and letting go of old patterns. And then we have spiritual growth and intuition. So this energy creates a sacred space, which makes it a great time for spiritual practices like journaling, meditation, or cleansing your space. And Scorpio energy is deeply intuitive and ideal for spiritual exploration. We have shadow work and release. Scorpio energy does encourage us to face our fears and embrace our shadow, that part of ourself that we might try to hide. This is a chance to release negativity and move toward a higher vibrational experience and forward with renewed energy. Then we have power and abundance. This moon invites us to celebrate growth, embrace new possibilities, and nurture both our literal and metaphorical gardens, encouraging us to embrace our inner power and our adaptability as we navigate challenges and strive towards our goals. And it just so happens today also, Mercury moves into Taurus today on May 10th, when this video is being released. So, Mercury changes signs about every 3 weeks or so, and we're used to Mercury changing its energy. But being aware of it can help us communicate better with others and ourselves. Because Mercury is the planet that helps us understand how we want to be communicated to or with, and how we want to communicate to or with others. So looking at your astrological birth chart and seeing what sign Mercury is in, that can let you know more about what your natural tendency is around this energy. What house it's in your birth chart will tell you in what part of your life and or what subjects you're most natural and comfortable with communicating about, and also to whom you are most comfortable communicating with. Like, for example, my Mercury is in Pisces in the second house. And so Pisces is this connection to the spirit world, the dream world, the upper world. And then also the second house that rolls over our sense of worth. So it makes sense that I'm comfortable with communicating knowledge and messages from spirit, especially when it comes to the subject of self-worth. So you can see how that can help you understand what your strengths are and maybe where your opportunities might lie as well. And then when Mercury moves into the sign or the house that your Mercury is in, it adds extra spark and emphasis to that part of your life, giving it kind of a super boost. So we can take that energy and use it for our adventure. So I'd love to hear where yours are if you would like to share that in the comments of this video down below. No pressure. I just like hearing different people's perspectives. And if you want some guidance on where it could, what it could mean about your communication style or how you'd like to be communicated to, I'd be happy to comment on that. Now, we can be aware of the energies of the planets and ride the energy back to shore, or we can be slammed by all this energetic wave and tumble in the surf. So there's no wrong choice. We like to sometimes experience the tumbling in the surf. We just have different choices with different experiences. So I hope this information helps you have an easier path as you move through this full moon energy. So now let's see what else Spirit wants to share with you through the tarot and the oracle. All right, so we're going to start off with a little spread called the Maypole spread, and it's all about for shifting perspectives. This is from the Beltane Oracle from a series of cards called Seasons of the Witch, and they're the ones that have this spread I'm going to use in their book. And I saw it, and I'm like, ooh, well, I really like this, so we're going to use this one. It's a 4-card spread, and it talks about that we all have blessings and things that we can be grateful for, and we can allow the cards to show us how we can shift our perspective and start focusing on the good in our lives. So this Mercury change of perception, the way we think and the way we look at life, that also is impacted by Mercury. And Scorpio loves diving in to the deep secrets. So all this energy is perfect for this. So we'll start off here. Let me just give these a shuffle to get this activated for the collective here. Let's see what they want us to know. Card 1 is going to be what is preventing you from seeing the blessings in your life. So let's take a look. Okay. We'll put that one right there. And then card number 2 is what do you have to be grateful for? What does Spirit want you to know? Okay. This one is calling our name here. Actually, it looks like you do get 2 things to be grateful for, which makes total sense. We have so much we can be grateful for. And then number 3 is what do you need to do to have a more positive perspective? All right, I do want this one here. And then the card 4, the last one is what lesson are you learning right now that'll benefit you in the future? All right. Actually, this one right here is calling our name. So we'll put those there. Let me just move those out of the way. All right. So let me get these lined up here. And we will jump into number 1. This is what the little deck looks like here. Wow, that just changed the energy. Did you see that? Wow. It went from really, really orange and glowing, and it changed the perspective. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious because it did. It changed our whole, how we saw things. It was very, very orange, and then that just changed it. Wow, I love it. All right, so let's jump into card 1. What is preventing you from seeing the blessings in your life? You have the Oracle, card number 28 here. And that says, spirits of other worlds, tell me the tales of the unknown. Tell me tales of the forbidden. So we'll take a look here. Sorry, that was card 28. Yep, let's take a look and see here what that brings in for us. We'll read from the book here. So this is the spirit. So what is preventing us from seeing our blessings? I feel like there's like this lack of contact with the spirit world. We're really And when it makes sense, we're really caught up into the lower vibrational energies that are going on in the planet. And when we remember who we really are, that allows us to see the blessings, allows us to be grateful when we see things from the higher perspective, from Spirit's perspective, instead of from that human perspective. We're down in the trees, we're down in the chaos, experiencing it through this little human body. A part of us is experiencing it anyway, but we can go to a higher place. It says, you've received invitations from the spirits, your ancestors, and other benevolent, otherworldly beings. They've been waiting for you to seek their wisdom. Access to the spirits is always available to you, but you must communicate with them in their language. They speak to you in the silence of nature and symbols, and the moods that are all around you. And you may hear their whispers in the darkness of your mind. This is not an illusion, but is illuminated guidance being offered to you. Do not be afraid of the messages you see unfolding in your life or of the beings who greet you, as they are here for your highest good and will protect you against all other harmful beings. All you have to do is ask for their guidance and protection, and so you shall receive. Additionally, the spirits can step in to support you and wish to do so. No problem is too big or too small, and they ask that you seek their guidance regularly. Wow. So what's preventing us from seeking the blessings in our life is that we're not communicating with the spirit world. And I love that because, it's all about vibration. Fear and all the chaos, all those lower vibrational emotions we feel that feel so heavy, they're all tied to fear, the lowest vibration, right? And then we have high vibration, which is unconditional love and joy and laughter and peace and play, and gratitude is a huge energy of that. But that's the higher vibration, and that's the vibration that spirit speaks. So when it says we have to speak their language to be able to hear them, it's too noisy at lower vibration for us to hear them. But if we take a breath or several and step back and then intentionally connect at that higher vibrational type of energy, we can hear things so much more clearly from them. And then we can see all the many blessings that are truly in our life, because everything is for us. There's an amazing awareness that, everything that happens in life is for us, even when we can't see it, and all that blessings in disguise. It's disguised because we can't see it with the lower vibrational sight, but when we connect to the higher vibrational sight, we can. So I love it. I love it. All right. So that's number one. And then number two is, what do we have to be grateful for? We have two cards. We've got the bonfire, card number 2. And that one says, it is through remembering that you will wake the ritual of your existence and be reborn in mighty celebration. Wow. I love that number 2 coming in here. That's like the high priestess number, and remembering who we really are connects us to our power, right? So this is all about remembrance. And it says, in ancient days, all fires would be extinguished and a giant community fire created to represent the sun's power. So the bonfire served as a reminder to seek growth, fertility, and abundance, and to remember that dark days would be followed by light, and all would be well again. In this way, bonfires represent a remembrance of the light within your spirit, a call to reclaim your inner power. Are you full of inspiration and dreams but fail to take action? We all have an inner power, but if left unused, this power sinks into the background. Allowing your inner force to dwindle can lead to undesirable side effects, such as low self-esteem, lack of motivation, negative feelings, or stagnation and confusion. The more your power is left unused, the less confidence you might have to seek out the dreams that are your right to claim. Bonfire brings you the gift of remembering the force within you and guides you to act upon the desires within your heart. This is a card of strong, forceful action. And when it comes to your spread, it's a sign that your plans, ideas, or dreams are likely to lead to success. Like all fires, your dreams must be tended to, or the flames will go out. Do not let your flame extinguish, for each time you do, it will become more challenging to light it again. Yeah, I like this. Stepping into our power is such an important piece here. I saw a little Instagram post earlier today. I don't forget who it is because I'm not in front of it right now. But they were talking about we're always manifesting. Every second we're manifesting. Whatever we're focusing on with our power, we're drawing towards us. And it is being drawn, whether it's lower vibrational or high vibrational that we're focusing on. That's our power. We're co-creating. In fact, Creator is taking our lead on whatever we're focusing on. They're helping bring into our life, because by our focus of our energy, we're telling the universe what interests us and what we want more and more and more of. So I like this. A blessing is that I am in control of my life. I draw in to my life what I want. And if I don't like what's in it, then that means it's a reminder that I'm focusing on lower vibration, and I can switch up my life by focusing on the higher. So what a beautiful gift. All right. And then what else do we have to be grateful for? Beautiful oak. Number 27, which says, don't just look within, dive deeply into the eternal realms of knowing. I love that energy. It's like our blessing is that we have access to the upper realms. In the old, a lot of organized religions and of all kinds, there is this energy of that the priests, the high priests, or the leaders or whatever, they're the only ones that can have access to that extra knowledge and those, the wisdom and even connection to the spirit realm, right? Oh, you can't go to God directly. You must go through this person who will go to this saint or this higher vibrational being, Jesus or whatever it may be, whatever belief systems, right? Then to God. And it's like, no, you have a direct line. You are a mini-me. You are connected to the Creator. You have direct access to that wisdom. And so that is something to be grateful for, that we have. It's like having to get someone to go onto their phone for the internet when you can get on it yourself, right? That's okay. But this is called wisdom, this card. And it says, wisdom isn't a static thing. It evolves, changes, and adapts as you learn new ways of knowing. And before you can be wise, you must be willing to accept that you don't have all of the answers. So oak is here to change your perspective. I like it. Like an old, wise grandfather, oak guides you to evaluate your beliefs to see if anything is out of alignment with who you are today. Perhaps what you knew to be true is now directly opposite from what you currently believe, or perhaps who you thought you were supposed to be when you were younger is now completely different from who you actually are. Just like wisdom, your goals will evolve as time goes on. Some goals will be left behind, while others will morph into something else entirely. It's important to regularly check back in with where you are to make sure you are still situated on the most illumined path. If you're confused about your next steps, oak reminds you to reach out to the unseen support all around you. Commune with nature, the spirits, right, and the universe, and ask them to guide you. I love that. It talks about other Beltane herbs, flowers, and trees, and there's a bunch of them. So Beltane was May Day on May 1st, and so we're still in that energy for a while. So if you're interested, you can look into belladonna, birch, hawthorn, ivy, lemons, marigold, meadowsweet, mint, mugwort, pine, rose, violet, and willow. And if you're interested, if you just Google like Beltane flowers and that, it'll tell you what it's used for. I won't take your time to do all that right now. All right. So I love that. This connection to spirit and the connection to who we really are, our power. These are things, powerful things to be grateful for that go beyond just the day to day. So many things that we can be grateful for, right? I love, I know gratitude journals kind of are overdone and over talked about, but it is something amazing that helped me in my life, because the first time I did one, I was like, ugh, really? A gratitude journal? Fine. If you think it'll help me, Spirit, I'll do it. And I was going to do it for 30 days, just writing something every morning that I was grateful for, without repeating any of them. When I got to the 30th day, the energy was so different, because it starts having you look for the things to be grateful for in your life, that I was like, you know what, I'm going to continue on for a while. And so I did. And I didn't put an end date, or I'm going to do it for another 30 days, whatever. I'm just going to do it till I'm done, where I don't feel like I need it anymore, or it starts feeling like work, right? So it was almost 5 months, and I didn't repeat anything that I was grateful for. If it's like, I'm grateful that I have 2 arms that work. I'm grateful I have 2 legs that work. I'm grateful I have 2 eyes that see, 2 ears that hear. I have electricity. I have internet. I have refrigeration. I have air conditioning and heating. And, it's like all the stuff that we just take for granted. But some people don't have that stuff somewhere in the world. And the more that I was grateful for things, the higher my vibration got, which brought in more things to be grateful for. When I was focusing in on want and need and lack energy, because all that is about, I don't feel I don't have something, so I'm focusing on lack, I draw more of the not have, right? Gratitude is about focusing and being grateful for what I do have right now and what I have had. That's all have energy, and that brings in more having. So it makes sense that it comes in that way. One of the things I share a lot is when I was in corporate life, I felt like I was working 4 times as much as I needed. That's my human perception anyway. And I was working because I wanted raises and bonuses and promotions. But the more harder I worked, the more I wanted and feel I needed, it pushed it further away. I got meets expectations, not even above expectations, or way above, exceeds, or whatever. I didn't. It was like meets. Well, you're doing what's expected, and I'm like, wow. And so I backed off of everything and said, well, I'm just going to go back to, not investing all that energy. It's not getting me anything. I'm just going back to doing 1/4 of the work, doing what is required, going in, and then I was enjoying helping customers, was grateful for the money I was making, because I'm like, I'm making enough. I don't need more. I'm grateful for what I do have. And I got into this attitude of gratitude. Doing 1/4 of the work, I got promotions, raises, and bonuses. And it was like, it didn't make sense then, but when you realize the difference between lack energy and gratitude have energy, how it changes things, it's so powerful. So I thought I wanted to share that. Well, Spirit nudged me too. So there you go. All right. Then we're moving on to card 3. What do you need to do to have a more positive perspective? We've got hand fastings. Card number 17. Oops, sorry. And that says, the pulls pulse through all that I am. No hidden form is left untouched. I am willing, I am risking, for I yearn for unity spilled lustrously upon my lips. Interesting. We'll see what energy this brings in here. All right. Nope, that's the wrong one. This one is unity. Wow, unity. That's what we need to do to have a more positive perspective. You do not have to go it alone, Sacred One, as help and support are available to you. There are people in your orbit who wish to be part of your sacred journey. That's both physical people and spirit, right? It can feel as though you're taking a risk and trusting someone else with the most important parts of your life. This is true, but partnerships have the potential to transform into lifelong systems of support and joy if you let them. You've pulled hand fastings because your situation requires the help of another. If you're struggling in your business or your career, consider finding a business partner with the skills you lack. If you're struggling to complete a project on your own, seek a guide or mentor who can teach you the methods so you don't have to waste your time. If you're struggling to make ends meet, consider asking loved ones for a little bit of help. There's no shame in seeking a helping hand, especially from those who are already devoted to you. This is what partnerships are about. They are a give and take without keeping score. I feel like the strong energy, and we can definitely follow our hearts and follow Spirit's guidance and ask other people, other humans for help. But with all this energy about connecting to Spirit, I feel like this is your Spirit's guides, and that nothing is, like it said, nothing's too big, nothing's too small to ask for their assistance. And they will guide you, and they'll even guide you to certain people for assistance and help and information as well. So I like that. All right. So that is what they have there for that. And then your final card here is, what lesson are you learning right now that'll benefit you in the future? Do you have the morning dew? Card number 26. So you had 26, 27, 28. Yep. This is, what stillness does the silence of one's steadiness bring? Ooh. All right. So let's take a look here. And yeah, so this is all about stillness. That makes sense. So, what lesson are we learning? Take a pause, dear one, for right now is not the time for action. There is plenty moving around you that is causing you to feel unrooted and lacking in direction. No kidding, right? Look at the world. When this happens, it is because you are still in the transition stage. There's often a desire to skip past the dark, murky parts of the journey, but there is value in the moments when nothing seems clear. There is more to learn, embrace, or consider before making any future plans. Attempting to force any change now will only result in more frustration, and perhaps you may end up going backwards. You will know when the time is right to move ahead, because clarity and sureness will return to you. Rather than focusing on the future, turn your gaze to what is immediately in front of you. Now is a good time to detox either in your home or in other areas of your life. Clearing out what is no longer useful to you will stimulate additional shifts and make room for what is yet to come. I love that. I laughed because that's full moon energy, that releasing what no longer serves us energy that we were talking about. So I do love this energy coming in, and the lesson that we're learning is to be still, to receive from Spirit. There's and we'll look at the tarot here in a sec, but it's like the magician in the beginning is the divine masculine, go, 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 action, action, action energy. But this is all about the receiving energy. It is like the number 2, the high priestess, the divine feminine, where we open up going, I don't know what to do. We become a chalice. We allow Spirit to bring to us. We allow Spirit to give to us, and that is that. I feel like this is this energy. What we're learning is to be able to stop, trust Spirit, ask of Spirit, step into our power, realize we have access to all this wisdom that's from up above too. So I love all this. What a great spread. We're just going to move this up here for now. And I'm going to use this Sambuca's tarot. Let's just get some additional messages here. What do we want to know more about with all this, right? We've got all the wisdom, about connecting to Spirit and the stillness here. So let's see here. Let's find out more about the lessons, right? Let's just dive into that. What else are we learning here in the future around this? Once we learn this and we start practicing that stillness, what does it bring us, right? So let's take a look here. Okay. And this, I feel like these as well. Open this one too. And that one. Okay. All right. So let's start off with these here. Yeah, we got the 2 of Cups. So we've got this wonderful relationships like we talked about here. We develop this wonderful relationship with the spirit world, but the more we connect with our self-love, our higher love, that is what reflects into all the relationships that we have, right? So every relationship we have is a reflection of our self-love. And so when we change and expand our internal love for ourselves and up above, that also expands and changes the relationships of the outside world. Yeah. So the Five of Cups transforms the emotions from lower vibration to higher vibration. And so that is great energy that comes in. And look, even Mother Moon makes herself known here. And this expansive energy of this Scorpio water moon, we talked about in the intro, how that moon energy is expanding all of that love energy that's within us too. So when we are able to sit back in this stillness and connect higher to the spirit realms, that wisdom that comes in, that awareness, that energy, it transforms things. And so we are looking at higher vibration, and the full moon expands that. So we're feeling unconditional love and joy and laughter and peace and gratitude. Boom, that's expanded and feels more, rather than focusing on our fears. Lower vibrational energy, which then, what does that end up doing? Brings in more situations and people and relationships and events that match that lower vibration, which isn't what we really want to do, right? So I like that energy. Let's see what else we learn here. Two of Coins. Yeah, the power of choice. With the Two of Cups, the Two of Coins, every moment is a choice between lower vibration and higher vibration. And we talked about our force, whatever we focus on, we make like 4 choices every second. Every moment we're making a mental choice about the story that we're applying to something, an emotional choice of how we want to feel, an energetic choice of what our focus is on and what we're drawing to us, and then a physical choice. What are we doing action-wise in the physical realm? Well, that's what this Two of Pentacles is we have this choice, this balance, but this awareness that every moment I'm choosing what energy I put out. And as I'm putting out that energy in those 4 areas, I'm drawing things that match whatever I'm focusing on the most, right? All right, let's see what else we got here. So we got the Six of Swords. Yeah, this is leaving behind old ways of thinking to move into higher ways of thinking. And along that, we have the King of Pentacles. So this does talk here about energy of our worth. And, we definitely have a lot of that happening in the world, right? But the big thing that the King of Pentacles learns is from the Four of Pentacles, which is when we define our worth by the outside world, we do look to relationships, situations, and things. It's like 3 buckets we're taught. These things define you, and relationships are lovers, but it's also family, friends, best friends, even with our pets, our animals, our fur babies, feather babies, whoever. And then situations like our jobs, our education, our social status, situations that we can get in. And then also things, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions. But all of those things are unstable and constantly changing because people change, people walk away, people pass away. So our relationships with humans, very fickle and unstable because any moment people can change, right? Situations never stay the same. Things break down, deteriorate, blow up, burn down, stolen, all that out there is unstable. So this is all about this wisdom that we're able to connect and we're able to see things from a higher perspective. We realize it's not the outside things that make us feel full and whole. It's that inner love that we turn to, that inner relationship we have. And then because we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. As we change, the outside world changes. But we don't change from the outside in, we change from the inside out. And so this is about mental change, belief change that rolls out into the outside world. And we start to see as we fill up on the inside, the outside world does transform as well. So what else we got here? Queen of Cups. Yep. So here is, it's like High Priestess energy. The Queen of Cups rolls over cups, but all the queens get a second portion of cups. So great, deep emotional connection, this Mother Moon energy. And the Knight of Swords, yeah, again, movement of thought and belief and mindset. That comes in here, so that makes sense. All this is about really getting into the hidden and the unknown energy that this moon brings forward, and it shows us all this, right? And then these two, here's the Four of Pentacles. So just to reiterate what we talked before, we'll put them down here on the same level as the King. And the Nine of Wands, yeah. This barrier that's been keeping us from our self-worth, the stepping into our power, remembering who we really are. Because when we are thinking that we're at the whim of the outside world, right? And we're taught a lot, those four choices I talked about, we're taught a lot growing up about what the story is supposed to be, how we're supposed to feel, the energy we're supposed to invest in, our physical actions we're supposed to react in the outside world. But those are just opinion. When we step into our power, realizing, thank you for your opinion, but I'm the one that gets to decide the story, the emotion, the energy, and the physical action, and no one else. This is us being able to step past that barrier that's there as we take our Ace of Wands off of this Nine of Wands barrier. It opens a space for us to step through. Nothing can stop us except for ourselves. Then your final three cards, you have the Five of Swords. So here's the end of the conflict between the head and the heart. We've got the Six of Wands. So this is movement and victory. 5 and 6, and the Strength card, yeah. So we leave here showing our human, which is the lion in here, and the maiden with the little infinity symbol above her head. This is our higher self. This is this beautiful relationship that can form here. When we realize, when you're talking about the Four of Pentacles, that the lion learned all that about, go out here and eat of these three areas. You'll feel full. And so the lion went out there, ate of all those things, and got more hungry and hungry and more hungry and more hungry and more hungry until it was, hangry, hungry, angry. It's roaring in the jungle, wanting satisfaction, but it's not finding it in these areas that it was told in the outside world. But then our higher self comes down and grabs and hugs our lion, doesn't try to kill it and put it out of its misery or cage it or try to control it and train it, because it knows what it's hungry for is the eternal unconditional love of the higher realms. And our higher self is actually a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. So that's where we find, instead of battling our higher self with our human side, our ego, our shadow, our higher self completes it. So instead of this battle that we're taught, the spirit must destroy this, it's like, no, it completes it. It gives it the unconditional love it's been looking for. And then they walk hand in hand through life in a completely different way, joined together, instead of the lion feeling like they're just out on their own. Again, the connection to our higher self, this, relationship it's talking about, is one of the most important things. When we remember who we really are, and we remember that, and we do that by getting to know our higher self and our spiritual posse and all of that, beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. Once we remember who we are, it transforms and changes our world. So I love that. Love it, love it, love it. All right, well, that is our energy for this reading today. If you're interested in diving deeper, I do offer personal readings. All that information is down in the description box. Also, I have YouTube channel members. If you want to get to know a smaller group in a more intimate way, we get together on Thursday nights for 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours. And that is my 2 levels. I've got Zen Cricket $2.99, Praying Mantis $7.99. And then on Friday nights and Saturday nights and Sunday afternoons, after my live sessions with the public, my Praying Mantis members, that higher level, we actually have special sessions for those as well. So if you're interested, check out the link down in the description box for that. In the meantime, remember, as you're going through your adventure, that every second of every day of your life, you are truly, eternally, and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. Remember, have fun. Because Spirit's been asking, why are you guys being so serious? All right. I love you. We'll see you soon.